We could do like a submission or knockout only league.
Ooh.
That'd be pretty cool. Because then you'd definitely know who was winning that one.
What would you think about a no time limit?
Yeah, no time limit, submission or knockout only.
That would be wild.
That'd be pretty sick, actually. You could probably sanction that.
Old school UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's UFC 1.
Yeah, it wouldn't really pay off for me, though. I need weight classes in order for me to my career to be good.
Yeah, weight classes, sure, but no time limit within the weight classes.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be that would be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy.
Because like two guys are facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or you're doing that to the other person.
That would be real. But again, the casuals would have a hard time with it because it would probably be a much more moderate pace, or unless someone just tries to go for it right off the bat.
Yeah,
and
that could be a strategy.
Sure. I mean, it does work.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many fights where... Did you see the Azerbaijan fight?
I didn't watch those ones, no. I watched Curtis's fight and a guy named Muhammad's fight on my team, but no, I didn't watch the other ones.
There was... who was it? Mota and the other guy from Azerbaijan. See if you can find his name. Salikov? Fuck. I hadn't seen him fight before.
What weight class was it?
I think it was 45. Yeah, no, it was lightweight. Yeah. Sadikov and Nicholas Mota. Nazim Sadikov and Nicholas Mota. Fucking crazy fight, man. It was so good that Dana White gave him double bonuses.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
But Mota landed a 75 punch combination. Like, I'm not kidding, man. He landed and then Sadikov came back and stopped him.
Oh, shit.
It was wild.
Oh, shit.
Like a wild fight. Like a fight like that where two guys just fight, and Mota like basically emptied out the tank, but Sadikov had fantastic defense, just kept covering and moving and just getting bombed onto the body, into the head, but it looked like it was getting close to stop.
Nice.
And all of a sudden he comes back and you see Mota's taking these big deep breaths, and whoo, it was wild.
Yeah. When that strategy works, it works, but when it doesn't, you're in some shit.
That's the problem. The blitz sprint, and very few guys. You know, we were talking about Gaethje and golf, and I was saying that I'm scared of golf, and you were like, I don't have time for golf. The thing that happens with golf is it takes so much time, and it's so addictive that it's going to take away time from other stuff, no matter what you do. And when you look at a guy, like I always point to Merab, because the day after he beat Sean, the first fight, DC went to his house to go talk to him, and he was out running. The day after. Like, that's a guy who does not stop. And that extreme physicality and that extreme endurance, because he is just constantly working, that means something. That counts. If you take months off, you take, like this was the thing that I was thinking about with John Jones. John Jones said he needed 6 months to prepare for Aspinall if he's going to fight Aspinall. So they were trying to make a deal, and then he decided to retire. But it's 6 months because he's not training, like at all. Like he just doesn't train. Like in between fights, just doesn't train. Yeah. Which to me, he used to do that a lot when he was younger too, which is I always thought was crazy.
That is crazy to me. I always saw guys do that, like when I was in my 20s, and like I would watch these really big fighters just not train unless it was a training camp time. And I'd be like, fuck that. I'm never being that way. I don't know, man. That's like a really weird one to me, but I don't want to bash it too bad because I do know a lot of guys that do that. But
well, look at John, greatest of all time. It's like, how did he do that?
I really don't know.
He's that talented.
I don't know how that works. Like, I want it to make sense in my head that, like, the harder you work, the more shit you'll get from it, which is, like, true to an extent. But then you have, like, these weird outlier guys that maybe have something more figured out than me that I don't have figured out or whatever. But, I mean, that to me is, like, completely unacceptable in my head. Like, I think that I really hate when people say that they want to be something and then they don't do any of the actions to, like, actually do that thing that they're saying that they want to be.
Right.
So I don't get to walk around being like, yeah, I'm going to be a world champion. I want to be a world champ real bad, and then not do any of the fucking actions, Right. Like, then I'm just a stupid person,
Well, I think John is just so fucking talented that he could pull that off.
Yeah,
and
probably.
That's the outlier. Mm-hmm. It's like he was just so good. He was so good. He could do it. He could party and still fuck guys up. Like what he said to Cormier at the press conference for the second fight. Yeah. I beat you when I was on coke.
Okay, I know. I saw that video the other day.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Sometimes it can feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And for guys, especially, it can feel like you have to carry that burden on your own. There's a lot of stigma around men being the provider to keep it all together by themselves. But that's not good for you, your family, or anyone. Did you know that 6 million men suffer from depression every year in the U.S.? And it often goes undiagnosed because of these stigmas. Real strength isn't bottling things up inside, though. It's admitting to your faults and doing something to better yourself. So go talk to someone, a friend, your partner, family, a therapist. Therapy is an excellent tool everyone should utilize. It's a great way to learn more positive coping skills, like how to manage stress, and help you live a more balanced and fulfilling life. BetterHelp is a great place to start that conversation. Judging by the millions of reviews and the 4.9 rating in the App Store, it's helped many people across the globe. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/JRE. That's betterhelp.com/JRE. This is the thing. When guys are that talented, there's so much, like, they're playing with their food, essentially, until, like I always point to with John, the first Gustafsson fight, which by all accounts he didn't train.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by all accounts.
I didn't know
barely
that.
trained for that fight.
Damn.
Barely trained. Just partying.
Yeah.
And beat Gustafsson and pulled it off in the last rounds, which was really crazy. But then comes back in the second fight and is like, okay, motherfucker, now we're trained. And just destroys him. Just runs right through him.
Which god does he worship?
Yeah, I know, right? And then,
like, start going to that church.
Well, I think it's just talent, man. And it's also genetics. Like, both of his brothers are super athletes.
Yeah.
He's just a phenomenal specimen. And then he's got a great mind for fighting. You can't discount his in-cage IQ because it's fucking phenomenal.
I do think two people have different wired brains, too, where some people need, like, cool down time in order for them to... Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how it works. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. I don't, I'm more on the other end where it's like, I'm going to give every inch of myself to this thing, in hopes that I get it one day. But then I know a lot of guys, man, that are really successful that are just like, nah, man, I need my, like, off time. But that to me is really uncomfortable, but I kind of got a little bit, I don't like chilling. Like me and my wife were just in Maui a couple of weeks ago. It's like the first vacation for 7 days I ever taken, like, since I was a kid, probably.
Did you get stir crazy?
I got a little stir crazy. I kind of liked it, though. Like, a piece of me liked just completely being like, oh, my home, my, like, life doesn't exist back there. So I liked it a little bit in that, but I didn't like the feeling of being completely, like, turning my nervous system off completely. That was, like, weird to me. I like being, like, a little stressed or having something going a little bit all the time. It kind of just makes me feel, like, alive or something. I don't know, but I didn't really like that feeling. I was kind of ready to come. I, like, didn't like that I liked it, too. It'd be like if I started playing golf. And I was like, oh, shit, this is fun. And then I got to, like, do that more and more. Right. I don't really want to get addicted to relaxing either.
Well, the golf thing is a 6-hour plus thing.
That's
every
true,
day.
too. Yeah.
And when you're a guy like Jamie... you're whacking, like, Jamie's got a simulator out there, so he's whacking balls every day. It gets you. It gets in your blood. But the thing about, like, relaxing, one thing that I do like about vacations is that at the end, I'm ready to go to work. Like, when I'm done, when it's like if I'm on an 8-day vacation, it's day 7, I'm like, I can't fucking wait to get back to work. I can't wait to get shit going.
I don't get that.
When
I was out there, I was like, I could stay here forever. I was like, I'll stay. I was like, fuck home. I was like, can we afford this? I was like, let's just stay here.
Isn't that it's a weird thing about momentum, right? Like, when you're training really hard all the time, you have this, like, constant momentum in your head of improvement. You're like, you're on the path. You're in the process, and you're feeling that. And when that gets disrupted, when guys get injured and they have to come back, or they get sick and they have to come back, there's, like, you got to, like, rebuild that momentum. Whoa, and get it going again. So it's like a part of your mind. You wake up like, time to go. Yeah,
I'm pretty familiar with, like, the process of, like, having to kick back into camp, and I do realize that it takes me about 2 weeks to get, like, all right, this is my normal life again, which is why I really like training camp and I really like fighting more than real life is what I say, just because it's like organized. I know what I'm doing. I don't got to think about stuff. I'm not traveling places. People like traveling. I hate traveling. It makes me feel like my life is moving on fast forward, which I don't really like. I feel most alive when I'm in a routine and I have time to myself and I can sit and kind of reflect and all of that shit. But yeah,
What is the difference between your training, like regular training, and then training once you get into camp? How much, like, what is a normal day when you're not in camp for you?
It's all the exact same. I'm just less competitive when I'm outside of camp. And I won't, if I'm like beat to shit, dead tired, I'll miss a practice. But that's really the only time that I'll miss practice. In camp, I won't miss, unless I have like a 2-week rule where if I'm like dragging really bad, I'll make myself go for another week and a half, 2 weeks until I'm like, okay, I do actually need a rest, And then so I'll do that in camp. But yeah, but outside of camp is pretty much the exact same. I've been traveling a lot, which I really don't like doing, just because again, like I don't really feel like I'm alive. I feel like I'm like fast forwarding through a bunch of stuff. But it's been like useful stuff like seeing family and then like me and my wife going on our honeymoon or whatever. So it's like normal life shit that I guess I got to check in and do every once in a while. But if it were up to me, it would just be like training camp life all of the time, just because it's easier. It's way easier. It's fun. It's easy. I go to the gym. I do my hard workouts. I'm competitive as fuck. I get to get that out of me. And then I just hang with my friends for an hour afterwards.
When you say you're less competitive when you're just normal training, like, is that conscious? Like, do you decide to be less competitive? And why do you do that?
I do that because I can't. I think that if I'm too competitive, I won't work on stuff. A lot of camp for me is getting better at stuff, and then the last 4 weeks is figuring out how to win. It's not like, I think that practicing winning is just as important as being able to practice a certain skill. So a lot of my camps will be developing those skills, but then like the last 4 or 5 weeks, it's just, I need to focus on winning each round, regardless of who it's against or whatever. I'm not like practicing a certain technique or doing anything like that. It's just win.
Just doing whatever it takes to win that round.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's an important skill to build.
And when you're less competitive, when you're just training and you're not in camp, you'll try things, be a little more